Well, it's March. Casey Schiesler. It's March 4th. Wednesday, March 4th, 2026. The first rundown pod of March in the big 2026. Dude, I mean, John Rothstein month, right? It's John Rothstein holiday month for those who celebrate. We got all basketball in the program today. How are we feeling, baby?
Oh, my good buddy Caleb Polking. We said before the pod started, this is the time of the year that not only do we live for, I believe we were born for this exact reason, to just cover March, from the start of conference tournament until after the Masters. I know that's in April, but we bleed into April a little bit, but March is our Super Bowl. This is what we are made for. I don't know about you. I've got my list started. I have watched 5 conference tournament games throughout the day. I've got one of them on right now, an Old Dominion versus Georgia Southern. And then I've got, of course, the Big 12 game of Baylor, Houston, which is a tight game right now. But this is, multiple TV screens all day, taking breaks during notes to switch over to Hulu. It is that time of year officially.
It's that time, baby. And Casey Schiesler, if you ever want to emulate somebody who loves the month of March, you follow suit on what Casey does. It's been since early Sunday morning when the clock struck midnight. Second to John Rothstein, basically. And you know what, Casey? I coming off of a tough intramural loss tonight in the playoffs, round 1, a little bit despondent on the drive home. But then I realized it'd be our first month of March pod this year. I've got some leftover Casey's pizza I'm downing right now.
Go.
Life is good. Let's hit it, baby. All right. You knew we weren't going to get more than a couple minutes into the episode to play that absolute masterpiece. I mean, what do you give the nod to? Do you give the nod to Star Wars main title theme by John Williams or CBS Sports March Madness theme?
Oh, that is, to me, there's the LeBron MJ debate, and then there's that.
Right.
Those two things have shaped my childhood more than oxygen and water. Like, those two songs right there, if there's a soundtrack to my life, I hope it's just those two mashed over top of each other, like constantly blaring. Like, that's, if you ever see me walking around class with headphones in, just assume that's playing at all times. But man, I don't even know if I can pick, Caleb. It's too perfect. It's almost like 6 months of one and 6 months of another.
Right. In theory, you could do that too, right? I mean,
yeah.
You could listen to the Star Wars main title theme in the summer, right when March Madness ends, boom, you're listening to that all the way until November, right? And then it's and then CBS college basketball theme the rest of the way. I actually like the strategy, but you're right. It's like picking between your 2 favorite kids in a way.
I think it's easier to pick my favorite kid than to pick my favorite song out of the two.
Yeah, good point. Good point. Now that I'm thinking about it, you're right. This is definitely a taller task. Well, man, thank you all for hopping on today and listening to a little March action. It's all basketball on the program tonight, baby. We've got Cyclones to talk about. We've got Big 12 basketball. Like Casey said, we've got a close Baylor and Houston game right now. What's the score?
It is Baylor's on a little bit of a run. It was 38-37 when the music hit. It is now 44-37. Baylor taking the lead at Houston.
I was going to say, at the Fertitta Center, right?
Mm-hmm. This is big. Kansas and Iowa State lose to a tough Arizona team, but Houston could lose to a mediocre Baylor right now.
Yeah. I was hearing somebody say that they think Baylor could still be a tournament team. I mean, I don't. There's no way.
They're
right?
6-11 in conference play. They're 500. If they lose this game, they're 500 on the dot. I just don't see.
Yeah. You would need.
They're a good 500. They're better than Stephen Pearl's Auburn, but
right. You would need to win tonight. You need to win Saturday, and you need to probably get to the Big 12 championship, and then you'd be in consideration, right?
Yeah,
probably.
I mean, to be fair, if they win tonight, I would have to look in depth on their wins. I want to say they have a win against KU.
Really?
I want to say they're one of the teams that KU got early in the year and just bottled for whatever reason.
Sure. And how about Purdue struggling at Northwestern right now, 62-61? It's so March, baby.
If the good game of Old Dominion and Georgia Southern wasn't on, I would be forced to put that game on. But not a Big Ten pod. No cares.
No, this is not a Big Ten. That is the most Big Ten we will talk all day today. Except maybe the Iowa Hawkeyes lost at the hands of Penn State. That one could be
brutal.
Could be dropped.
How do you ever lose to a 5-win conference team?
I don't know, but dude, did you see Taylor Mauser on Twitter? Did you see his tweet?
No.
For those who don't know, Taylor Mauser, former Iowa State offensive coordinator, now over at Penn State. You may think what you want about him leaving the program, whatever. He took a great job. He tweeted after that game, he quote tweeted the Penn State basketball post, and he said, "You just love to see it." And then he had a lion emoji and a tornado emoji. And I was like,
love it.
Love that. What a guy.
Caleb, I'm looking at their resume right now. You can't put Baylor's in. You can't. Their conference wins are at Okie State, at West Virginia, home against Colorado, home against Arizona State, and at UCF.
Yeah, no, not a chance. That'd be a disservice.
They don't have a big win. You can't even argue Creighton being a big win anymore. Their best win is probably San Diego State.
Well, and here's the problem too, is because we shouldn't even be having this conversation. We really shouldn't. But we are. And it sucks we are, because that is just a product of the fact that you've got an undefeated team, Miami of Ohio, that there are still people out there who are saying they should not be in if they don't win their conference tournament, which is absolutely beyond me. I mean, that is unbelievable.
It's unreal.
Yeah, but that's the nature. That's the nature of how it is.
Yeah. They'll be the first undefeated team to not be a 1 seed in the tournament. That they're in unprecedented territory. And I get they have not played anyone, and they've played everyone close. I've watched the games pretty consistently. And they're interesting, but at the end of the day, they win. And that's why we always say you can't play the schedule on paper. You've got to play it on the court, because these other teams don't want to schedule Miami of Ohio's. These good middle of the pack teams, they're not going to get a ton of opportunities against a Washington, against an Iowa, against a St. John's, or even to take one off a Kansas or a Duke. They don't get these opportunities anymore, as teams they just keep going lower and lower. They want to take on Lindenwood, they want to take on Milwaukee. They want to take on Prairie View A&M. Just scrolling down
the Valley State Delta Devils.
Yeah, I'm just scrolling down the Ken Palm rankings and just naming teams that are near the bottom, because that's how teams are deciding schedules right now.
Right. If you want to see Casey's point proven, go look at Mississippi Valley State or Jackson State's schedule in the month of November and December. It is unbelievable. Those teams play they'll play 3 games a week, and it's all top 25 programs, and just get their
Gardner-Webb is the
No shit.
5th worst team on Ken Palm, and they are top half of the nation in strength of schedule. And they have to have the worst conference schedule of all time.
Man. Well, we've
Their
got
non-con schedule is 50th.
Gardner-Webb.
Gardner-Webb. And Mississippi Valley State's not behind them at 59.
I'm curious to take a look at Mississippi Valley now that we're on the topic. I'm curious.
Jackson State is 342nd in the nation, and they have the 8th toughest non-con.
Wow. Oh, you always forget about the fact that Mississippi Valley State won back at the beginning of the year against Mississippi University for Women.
University for Women.
97-61.
Caleb,
they've since won 2 games since then.
I know they won a big one actually against a decent conference opponent. I saw the tweet.
Was it Arkansas Pine Bluff?
Yeah.
Or Texas Southern, one of those 2 teams?
I think it was Pine Bluff. Caleb, if you had to take a guess on the Iowa State non-conference schedule ranking, what do you think it would be on Ken Palm?
Gut feeling tells me 170.
Caleb, 283.
Are you serious?
283rd. You think of the non-con, FDU, Grambling,
Yeah.
Mississippi State at the bottom of the barrel, SEC, Stonehill. St. John's is your only good game. Creighton falls far. Syracuse is near the bottom of the ACC. Alcorn State is one of the worst teams in the nation. Iowa's a bottom Big Ten team. Eastern Illinois, Long Beach State, Houston Christian. You're only ranked.
The Purdue one.
They did have Purdue. I was going to get to that last because that's a big one.
Sure.
But you look at it, that's kind of carrying, you play maybe 2 high quality games with them in St. John's. Right. And then you're lumping in Creighton, Syracuse, and Mississippi State. And I get you didn't expect those 3 to be the caliber they are heading into the season. But, that's where you're at right now.
Yeah, and it does hurt your resume this time of year, unfortunately. Let's use that as a segue into Cyclone talk now that we're 12 minutes into the pod. Let's seize the opportunity. Tough week for all intents and purposes this past week, Casey.
It's on us. We didn't pod and they lost a couple times. We've learned from it.
I was going to say, I think this happens more often than not. We decide not to pod, and the Cyclones in whatever sport we're talking about, whatever season it is, don't win. We'll be better. We're being better right now. All right.
If only they funded us for it. We're the number one we're the number one podcast for the school, according to that survey.
Number 2 in the state of Iowa, unfortunately behind one of those podcasts out east. School that shall not be named. Yeah, they really should. And I can't say I'm not nervous about that Arizona State game this coming Saturday after what they did to Kansas last night. So in this here tonight. Tough week, Casey. When you look at it, when you put it into perspective, your Iowa State, you lose to 2 top 10 teams, right? Now I get Texas Tech lost last night to TCU. That's interesting. TCU's not a bad program though. They're showing they're a good team. This is college basketball. It's a long season. Overall, my take is that this team is they just look like they're out of gas right now, right? I mean, pitiful shooting performance against Arizona. I actually really liked their effort against Arizona. I thought they were winning in the rebounding category for most of the game. Arizona might have taken over by the end, but Blake Buchanan was for all intents and purposes battling with Krivas down there and some of those guys and Owaka. Their effort was good. Shots could fall. And then Saturday, that was the one that, was disappointing. But then, at the same time, you get a Texas Tech team that shoots. I know somebody ran the numbers. It was one of the best shooting performances by an opposing team in Hilton Coliseum in the last 20 years. But we can say that. We can say, all right, you lose two really good teams. They look like they're out of gas right now. We've seen this trend the last few years, unfortunately, under TJ. These teams, they just, I don't know, something about it. Late February, early March, start to slow down. I don't know if it's tired legs. I don't know what it is, but I think it is something to be concerned about. What say you?
Yeah, you always talk about peaking at the right time, and that's kind of a big thing when you hit March. What teams are hot? Who has the chemistry going? Whose shooters are going? Iowa State doesn't have it. They've got back-to-back games shooting under 40% from the field. Just not ideal, right? At least the Texas Tech game, you shoot 8 of 24, you shoot 33% from three. We can play with that. The other issue is you're just not making quality looks. Like, I get that Krivas is a very good center. I think he's one of the best bigs in the Big 12, arguably in the nation. You go against a Texas Tech team missing JT Toppin. You've got to capitalize more. You've got to get inside. You've got to score. 29% from the floor against Texas Tech, 39% from the floor. Sorry, 39% against Texas Tech, 29% against Arizona. You just can't do it, right? You've got to get in there. You've got to compete. They're getting to the free throw line and making them at a much better amount than we thought. I mean, we highlighted the numbers last pod. We were like, guys, we got to make our free throws, 12 of 13 against Arizona, 19 of 27. I get that 70%, but against a very physical Texas Tech team,
So what's going on?
It'll be all right. Do you hear me?
So sorry, everybody. You're having connection issues. I know this has been a trend the last few weeks. I attribute it to my apartment's Wi-Fi. It's been bad for a while now. Hopefully we can get Casey back here. I don't know. Maybe I'm the one who people can't hear. Not really sure what's going on. But
no, are you back? Can you hear me? No. Very interested to listen to this back now and see if my mic was picking up at all or how this was working, because that was a baller explanation. If you can't hear me, follow the Twitter. Caleb left. Caleb crashed. All right, welcome into the rundown with Casey and Casey right now. Here's what we're talking about. Iowa State can't make a field goal. Can make threes. Really big game for Milan Momcilovic. Cannot seem to get it figured out. Whatever on the inside. Joshua Jefferson has really struggled the last couple of games, right? A guy that you want to lean on heading into it, going out and having, I mean, he had 22, but you look at it, 6 of 14 from the field against a Texas Tech team. Missing JT Toppin is not something you want. 2 of 17, by the way. 2 of 17 against Arizona. And I get Krivas, fantastic center. I've said it 2 minutes ago, if this came through, that he is who I think is the best in the Big 12, arguably one of the best in the nation. When you take the boozers, the top end guys out of it, if he stays, he's going to be a top 3 center in the game. You can't have 12 on 2 of 7.
Okay.
8 rebounds.
I'm sorry. Have you been?
No, you're good. Yeah, so I don't know if you could hear me. I gave my explanation during when you were saying I was cutting out, and then you left, and I dove into it a little bit more just to hope that it would pick up something.
You could hear me? You could hear me when I was saying that?
Towards the end when you were like, oh geez, I'm sorry guys. Like I this might be like I hope we get Casey back, stuff like that. I don't know if you said anything before that, but
okay. Yeah. Well, I changed to the hotspot and it seems to be working okay now. So
welcome back.
It's huge.
Summary.
Thanks for filling in there, my friend.
No,
yeah,
you're
what did
good.
I miss?
Jefferson's got to be more consistent in big games.
Yeah.
And we just got to be more, efficient from the field. I think that's the big issue, is not, we're necessarily being the most efficient, getting the best looks. Sometimes I feel like we're not even getting the first look, where a lot of people are like, oh, we're just getting the first look and shooting it. I think we're passing up a good look to try and get a great look, and it just doesn't always work out. especially against two really good defensive teams like Arizona and Texas Tech.
Yeah. Well said. It's been hard lately too to watch the Torres clearly hit a wall, right? He's hit a freshman wall, especially offensively.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not playing the same level of defense that he was, a month ago or before that, right? So at this point, offensively, he's not much. Heisey he's been afraid to shoot it lately. I think that guy's still got it in him. This team, in my opinion, the difference, you've got the big three, right? You've got Lipsy, Jefferson, Momcilovic. But in my opinion, the difference between whether this team gets to, I would even say maybe the second weekend or gets booed in the first weekend could be, that Bateman-Heisey combo. And we saw it was good to see Bateman, he was missing a ton of shots there at the beginning of that Arizona game. Good to see him get back on track. I think he ended up going maybe 4 for 8, 4 for 9 from 3. So
4 for
a decent
10.
output. Okay, 4 for 10. Dang. I want to say he was like 4 for 8 at one point. But that was good to see. You need that, right? And you're right. You're seeing Momcilovic and Jefferson specifically, I think, not show up in big games, specifically not show up early enough, right? Those two figured it out on Saturday against Texas Tech and played a really good second half, but they were kind of non-existent in that first half. You need those guys to have that killer mentality right off the bat if you want to be able to do something special in March. I still think this team can do something special in March. I really do. And I think that's how it's going to define the season, right? Nobody's going to remember, losing that game at Texas Tech, right? They're going to remember what you do in the NCAA tournament. And, I don't know if you make some rotation changes, do you give Bateman more minutes than Torrey? I think he has been getting more minutes than Torrey.
Yeah.
lately. Is that something you think about doing? I don't know. What do you think?
Obviously from my point of view, I think you would, but I struggle to make changes this late. And we know Otts doesn't like to make changes to the starting lineup, especially something he's gone with time and time again. I think we've seen the minutes change against Arizona. Bateman outplayed Touré by 9 minutes. Against Texas Tech, he outplayed him by 5 minutes, but Heisey got more minutes. I just want to see what it's like with Bateman out there to start, and maybe that lights a fire under Touré as well. Maybe that pushes him to be even better. Sometimes all you need is a good competition. I don't think the kid's going to get moved to the bench and cry and not play good. I think it's a kid who loves to compete, right? He loves to be challenged. We've seen it all year when he goes against these top-level guys. I get the defense is unreal. You're not getting everything you want out of him, and you kind of need him to show up offensively when you are such a good defensive team, especially on nights that, Jefferson isn't shooting the ball well, or Momcilovic. I mean, against Arizona, Momcilovic had 5 points on 1 of 5 from 3. My other thing is Heisey's played 50 minutes and he shot 1 3. Heisey, you're not a get downhill scorer, right? You've got to know your strengths. Otts, you've got to play to that strength. When he comes in, you've got to get him coming off screens. Use the defenders, pulling towards Momcilovic to get Heisey, not necessarily an open look, but a shot that he can get off before the contest gets to him.
It's a long season, baby. It really is.
There's plenty more left in the tank. We know the boys got it.
There is. People got to realize that. But you got to get back on track this weekend. You can't have one of those deals where come out with tired legs on Saturday and, it's a lack of focus. It's a lack of urgency. You got to want to beat that Arizona State team by 30 on Saturday. Mm-hmm. One, because you want to get that confidence, and two, for these seniors too, right? Taman Lipsy, of course, he's going to be, I'm sure it'll be one of his best games of his career on Saturday. I have no doubt about that. This guy, he's got one game left in that building. It's honestly, it's emotional to even think about, right? This guy has been such a lifer in this program and has done so many amazing things. And I mean, I don't know if you mentioned it talking about that Arizona game. What a game from him that Monday night. I mean, nobody else out there was doing anything, and he's just trying to keep this team, within striking distance. And love watching that dude play basketball. And yeah, Saturday, I think you can really reinstill some confidence. The team does not look confident right now. They haven't looked they looked really confident in that 2-game stretch against, Kansas and Houston. And then they lost that BYU game, didn't look confident there, didn't really look confident in that Utah game, and then certainly didn't these last couple games either. And I just think this is a perfect matchup this weekend. Come back home, beat a team by a bunch, send the seniors out the right way, and then go see what happens, man. And I think we can probably just get into it right now, because the Big 12 tournament is going to be really fascinating this year. I don't know if it really will determine seeding that much, because Arizona has now solidified itself, right? Initially, there was the idea that a Big 12 championship could be the deciding factor for a 1 seed. Of course, it's not the case anymore. Could it, though, for a 2 seed, for a 3 seed, right? I think that's very possible at this point. And I also, do you understand how the tiebreaker works for this double bye? Because I don't know what we should be watching for right now. I don't know. Like, Iowa State and Kansas have the same conference record, right? Who gets that edge for the 4th place spot?
Is it head to head and then probably opponent records, or like record against common opponents is probably what it would be?
Yeah, I would think so.
So I don't know how
yet on how that would work. Who does Kansas play this weekend?
Hopefully no one, honestly. They play, it's the Sunflower at home. They've got K-State.
Wow.
The Tangless K-State comes in, and if they lose that game, it doesn't matter. They don't deserve a double bye. If Iowa State and KU both lose and KU gets the double bye, give it to Iowa State. I don't even care.
I mean, in theory, isn't Kansas State better with that saying?
Yeah, but it's still Kansas State. I mean,
yeah. At Allen Fieldhouse.
At Allen. I mean, who knows? You've got a fired up Arizona State looking to they know they need to make a run. So I think that's really, other than maybe making the final, deciding the 2 seed, because I think the difference in Iowa State and Houston getting a 1 versus a 2 would have to be getting to the final. If Houston gets to the final, they should be a 1, right? I don't know how you're going to sit here and tell me that a Gonzaga is better than them, a UConn is better than them.
Right.
You're not going to tell me a Purdue is better than an Iowa State and deserves a 1 seed. If they make the finals, either Iowa State or Houston, to me, I feel like that's a 1 seed. And then the other one gets a 2 seed. Kansas has got to win out to probably get a 2 seed. Texas Tech has probably got to win out to get a 1 seed. Even that, could Texas Tech win out and still wind up a 2? If they beat an Arizona, they beat a Houston, could you still look at it and say, you lost JT Toppin, you're a 2 seed, almost like the Florida State argument?
So I'm seeing here on Twitter that people are saying for Iowa State to get the double bye, Kansas has to lose on Saturday and Iowa State wins. So it must be a Kansas State has the tiebreaker.
Okay. Yeah.
What it's seeming like. So
there's a world where KU and Iowa State lose.
Here's the thing, though. I've talked myself into believing this, that I think I might rather have Iowa State not have the double bye.
Yeah.
You're in agreement there,
I like a single bye more than a double. If it's not like weird bracket where you got to win 1 game, like the Gonzaga and the St. Mary's, you only want 1 bye.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. Just get 2. You get this Arizona State game. Get another game where you play a mediocre opponent, right? in theory, 2 good wins in a row, get that confidence back, and then see what happens the rest of the way in the conference tournament. And yeah, I don't know. Okay, I'm glad we're on the same page there. So maybe I am a Jayhawk fan on Saturday.
Everyone's a J. No one's a Wildcat fan.
You're right.
You know?
You're right. Nobody has ever been this.
They don't exist, Caleb.
No.
Fake news.
Well, I'll close with this on the Cyclone talk, Casey. I am firmly entrenched on. I think this team can. I don't know how far I think they can get. I don't really know if I think they can get to the Final Four anymore. I just think we've seen too much inconsistency. I think they can get to an Elite Eight. I really do. I think they can get to one. And I am still firmly entrenched on if you get there, man, I am 100% satisfied. This is a successful season. This is a really good season. You haven't done that in 25 years. You haven't gotten to an Elite Eight in 25 years. You've gotten to a lot of Sweet 16s, but no Elite Eights since 2000. And I will be very, very content with that. I mean, at this point, with the inconsistency we've seen, I would still be, it's fun when you get to that second weekend, right? You win that round of 32 game. Sure, it's fun. Get to an Elite Eight, though. I still think that's in the cards. I'm still using that as the bar. And yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I think our hopes and ceiling for this team, I think we started out kind of low just because it's a very different roster. You lose so much scoring. What did we lose? 70 points per game, something near, which is crazy. And then you hit that hot streak. You win a lot of non-cons. You knock off some good opponents. You lose to Kansas. You pick it back up. And then we kind of are trending back down. I'm almost sitting here thinking, it was a Sweet 16. Hey, we'll take it and learn from it. Like, obviously, you want to win the national championship.
Yes.
But you got to, sometimes you got to take off the fan hat, put on the realistic hat as hard as it is, and be like, we make it to that second weekend. It's going to be a tough field no matter what. I think you should be expected to make that second weekend. Elite Eight is kind of, I just don't know how they get to a Final Four. I don't know where the points are coming from.
Yeah.
And I know defense wins championships, but in March, you can't just have defense. You've got to have scoring.
Right.
And it's not going to come down to Milan. Milan's not going to get 50 and have you win a game. Right. And if he does, it's a generational performance, and you're going to win with that matchup, defense or not.
Yeah. Yep. And at Iowa State, you celebrate Sweet 16s a lot. You do, right? It's a big deal. It's a huge deal. At this point, this program is good enough to where you kind of expect to make the tournament every year, right? This is you've put enough respect on your name to where it's like we expect to be a tournament team every year, right? And we expect to get to the second round every year, really. That I think is the expectation, right? It is to get to the round of 32 every year. I think TJ Otzelberger has made that a real thing, right? He's done that in 3 out of 4 years. He's made the tournament all 4 years, right? Well, now 5. So, that to me is kind of that expectation. The Sweet 16 is still very much like you got to celebrate that, right? Every program does. Now, some it doesn't, for a Kansas, for a North Carolina, for a Duke, it doesn't matter as much, right? Just a Sweet 16. But at Iowa State, kind of that maybe tier 2, tier 3 college basketball program, you celebrate that for sure. So anyway, we're getting too ahead of ourselves here, but it is important, I think, to continue to set the expectation level. How do you look at this season when it's all said and done, right?
Yeah, you just got to outlast Nebraska in the tournament. That's the important thing. If you outlast Nebraska, you outlast Iowa, you push against, you win the early games, you get to that second weekend, it's not crazy that, Iowa State could face like a 5 or a 6 and be dogs, technically. Like if you face a really good team that's catching fire at the right time.
Yeah.
that has that star level. Kansas is probably what in that 4-ish range right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like it wouldn't be crazy to say that, but it also wouldn't be crazy to say we're gonna go out there if we're dogs, if we're favorites, we're gonna go out there and win. Like it's TJ Otzelberger team. They're gonna play lights out defense. Milan Momcilovic is gonna hit some shots. Taman Lipsy, the impact that guy has said, you stated it, not only on this school, but this community. It's a kid that grew up here, that's lived his whole life here. He played AU here, he played high school here, he played college here. That man is the embodiment of Ames, Iowa. And, a great man to be an embodiment of that. But we will see. He's going to leave it all out on the line. Jefferson's going to leave it all out on the line. Nobody's going to not go to war for Otz. That guy knows how to get people to go to war for him.
Well, buckle up, baby. If you didn't buckle up 2 weeks ago like we told you to, then that's just on you. That is not anybody's fault but yours. Let's talk some Big 12, baby. What a conference. Arizona wins the regular season title. That team is one of the best teams, I think, that has ever come through this league. I really believe that. They have so many dudes.
But they're so young. That's my only gripe. I was talking with Grandpa Dan today, and he said, I think Arizona's the favorite to win. And I said, I would agree, but I get flashbacks to Zion's Duke. That team just stacked with talent, but they're young. March, you need some veteran leadership. You need some help out there. They have some of it, but they start more freshmen than anyone else is it like the nation? Don't they start like 3 or 4 freshmen?
Well, it's Pete, it's Burries.
It's Krivas a freshman?
I think you're right. Yep. Bradley's obviously not. He's been around.
Yeah.
Who's their other starter? It's not Del Orso, is it? Is it Awaka? Does he start?
Is it Karchenkov's a freshman.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he starts, but of their top 5 guys in minutes per game, 4 of them are freshmen. And then it's Awaka and Del Orso right behind them. Those are your guys averaging 20. The only guy who's not a freshman is Bradley. That's a young team.
Yeah.
A lot of emotions when you play a UT Rio Grande Valley,
Yeah, you're right.
In a dome in San Antonio, and they've got 10 people there, but they're the loudest 10 people there. And they've got a 6-foot accountant that's shooting 70% from 3 that you've never heard of, that the nation hasn't heard of, that will go down in history and have men cutting their hair to be just like him and growing out mustaches.
Mm-hmm. You're
That's
referencing
March, baby.
The great Doug Edert.
The great Doug Edert and Jack Golke, of course.
Oh, Jack Golke too. Wow, good pull.
The power triangle hair,
right? The Doug Edert mustache was crazy. That was one of the most gorgeous mustaches I've ever seen.
I wish I could pull that off.
And have that kind of NCAA tournament performance too.
Does it get better in life than those 2 things?
I don't know.
Like that's winning the Powerball. That's our Powerball.
So Houston, I looked like a couple minutes ago, and Baylor was up 58-54, and I just looked again, and now it's 64-58. Houston's up. So
10-0 run in the last minute 35.
That's brutal. The Fighting Scotcheroos may have run out of gas. So Kansas, man, tough one last night.
They allegedly play basketball, man. I don't know.
Ran into some tough officials. I didn't realize Nebraska. I'm sorry to interrupt. Nebraska got beat by 20 at UCLA yesterday.
They did. Really bad. Just a really bad team all around.
Wow.
It was a great hate watch.
Looks like Mick Cronin is nasty work in the Big 26.
Yeah. Mick Cronin.
Wow.
Donovan Dent's acceptable to lose to. Bilodeau's acceptable to lose to, but you can't lose to a Mick Cronin.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's like losing to Jerome Tang.
It is. It's pushing that for sure. It really is.
Yeah. Rough one for Kansas. Bill Self's, I believe, third ever ejection. I believe I read that somewhere.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, for a guy that gets mad a lot, only 3 ejections is pretty impressive, honestly. Smoke machine goes off as he leaves the court. Pretty cool. I'm not even going to say it was classless. I think that was hilarious.
Yeah, that's pretty
I think
fire.
that is awesome. And someone was like, oh, it's to, make sure fans don't throw stuff at him. That's just cool. I'm not even going to lie. That's just awesome.
Yeah.
Like, imagine Texas Tech setting the fire off
Right.
as Jerome Tang walks out sulking.
It'd be pretty sick.
Yeah. Darren Peterson threw up a March date from the field. It went like 3 of 18. He was shouting out the play-in games for March Madness by having that as his field goal numbers.
What was his line?
Dude, I actually think he went like 3 of 18, 3 of 19.
Because that's close to what Joshua Jefferson did against Arizona. At some point, you just got to stop shooting the basketball.
At some point, you let him slide in the draft.
Right.
I mean, Trey White had a good game, except when a coach held him back, even though he was already on the court. Darren Peterson, 3 of 18, 2 of 11 from 3. Worst double-double I've ever watched. Just abysmal. But he's got a terrible whistle, which doesn't help. He has the opposite of an SGA whistle, whatever that is.
Anything else in the Big 12 front, Casey? Sticking out to you right now? I mean, Texas Tech, this team without Toppin, it's been phenomenal until they got beat by TCU in Lubbock last night.
And you just don't see them ever lose in Lubbock is the weird one.
No. That was odd. I don't get that at all. I mean, they are we labeling Saturday their Super Bowl this past Saturday? Was that their Super Bowl? Was that Donovan Atwell's Super Bowl in Ames, Iowa?
Dude, he gave it everything. And then they got to go to Provo, who just landed a 5-star and has AJ DeMonta saying, I might come back. Did you see that?
I think I did, yeah.
They've got Bruce Branch, who's a fantastic guard. He's going to be super good. And AJ DeMonta was interviewed. It says, I want to go number 1. I'm not ruling out coming back here for another year. Now, I don't know if it's just him saying that to say that, or if that's like,
right?
If he doesn't think he's going number 1 this year, what's stopping him?
Yeah.
To be fair, I think he is talent-wise. I think he's the second best. I think NBA teams will evaluate him third best. I think Boozer's the best pick. I don't know what to think of Darren Peterson right now. I think AJ is super good, but Boozer's been insane. And Boozer plays a position that you can't just fill like that. You can't find a power forward like him.
Right.
With a center rebounding and small forward shooting.
Yeah, that's a rare build. There are other Darren Petersons and AJ DeMontas out there. There aren't really other Cam Boozers. Let's what do we think? Should we pick these conference tournament champions? Kind of just go through it quick.
Yeah.
We decided we're gonna pick all of the most of these mid-major conference tournaments that are going on right now. Pick them on this pod, and then next week we'll do more of the high major conferences, some of the other bigger mid-major conferences. You've got a list here. I don't know how you want to do this. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm just going to go through them. So I've got all mine written down, set Caleb a list earlier. Caleb, I've got the tabs pulled up. I went into research on these.
I know you did. I have zero doubt in my mind.
Didn't have a lot of classwork to do. I saved the homework for pre-pod as I knew I would sit down. I had a little break in my day, and I said, all right, going to hit up my good friend Torvik, my good friend Ken Palm, and a little bit of ESPN on the side. Standings only. I don't take ESPN news. And I'm gonna sit here and we're gonna pick low majors today. We're gonna try and hit a pod before all the mid and high majors start their conference tournaments as well. Just some fun, I mean, we know everything in basketball, and one of us is gonna be right. There's no way that both of us pick a wrong team.
Are these playing into our picks, our pick segment?
I'm gonna say no, just because we have to pick like one of 8 instead of 1-on-1. It's not really head to head, so more so just for bragging rights. This, the cherry on top.
Sure.
This is getting us ready for our March Madness challenge once again this year.
It's gonna be.
We are gonna come home with the T-shirt.
Yeah, who? Trevor Perkins, right? Shout out Trevor 2 years ago.
I wonder if he still listens.
Every day with pride, that T-shirt we sent his way. I would love to see what the design was. I think I put like our little podcast logo on it and something about like March Madness. That was the funniest thing ever.
That's awesome. Good for him. I hope he's a loyal fan, still listening. He's one of our favorite stories to tell. No particular order. I just went through ESPN, and whatever ESPN had like the brackets in order of,
right,
that's just what I did. So I'm gonna start with the Horizon.
Okay. We could go back and forth here if you want.
Yeah, I was just thinking we go back and forth, and give our winners for each. I'll throw the one out, and then you give me your winner. I'll give my winner.
Okay, that works. Do we want to start with the Horizon League here?
Correct.
Okay. I've got Wright State, the 1 seed in the Horizon League. This is going to be horrible analysis for me. There was not a lot of research that went into these picks from Caleb. Wright State, though, baby.
Wright State's a heavy favorite, though.
Huh?
And also, Wright State's a heavy favorite, and also with reseeding, that's not bad at all.
Great.
I'm gonna pick up Robert Morris. I like that. Like what I'm seeing from them. I think they're a very solid team. Also, top 15 in rebounding in the nation. That can get you somewhere. Mm-hmm. They beat Youngstown State today as well. Wright State also won. Wright State won convincingly. That is one of the games I watched. That's not a bad pick. We're going to go to the OVC next, Caleb, Ohio Valley Conference.
I'm going with SEMO, the Red Hawks here. They are not the 1 seed, I don't think. Are they the 4 seed? 3 or 4 seed?
3 seed. SEMO's the 3 seed, but they're a good 3 seed.
Yep. I like some of their metrics. I can't remember what they were on KenPom. But there's some things that stick out to me about this squad. Huge Red Hawk guy in the OVC.
The biggest Red Hawk fan imaginable. I'm actually going to take the opposite side. I'm going to take the 1 seed. So this is my chalk pick in Tennessee State. Just couldn't tell you a lot. I was looking at the metrics, and they had less red than the other guys in the conference considerably. So that is the reason why. Then we're going to go to the Big South, Caleb.
I've got Campbell winning the Big South. Now, this is 1 seed. This is my chalk one. I don't think I've watched a Big South basketball game all year. Admittedly. Sorry, guys. Sorry to disappoint. Campbell, though. Are they the Campbell Camels, right?
Yeah, Campbell Camels.
Campbell Camels. Let's go. Who do you got?
Big South. Isn't Campbell? What conference is Campbell in?
I think they're the
Big
Campbell.
South. Campbell 1 seed is High Point. Are you thinking Big Sky?
Did I look at the wrong bracket? Oh, I did. I really did, didn't I?
CAA.
Yeah, okay. I'm sorry. High Point for sure.
Yeah, I'm taking High Point as well. I was looking at you and I was like, I don't remember Campbell. It's like, did I
You're like,
miss something
yeah,
here?
Caleb, the Campbells, but they're not in the Big South.
I'm just gonna hit my CAA then. Campbell's not a bad pick as well. I toss and turn with this, except for the fact that William and Mary is like the fastest team in the nation right now in terms of tempo. And I think just having that kind of speed, because the energy is already going to be super high.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do you just go and stop them when they are just going to be running around over and over and over? And you're gonna run into some mental mistakes in big games. So I'm gonna take William and Mary. They're top 50, but they also have one of the highest turnover rates because they get up and press quite a bit. Caleb, we're going to hop into Arch Madness, the big one that's starting right now in the MVC, Missouri Valley.
Arch Madness, baby. I love it. Perennially one of the most underrated tournaments in all of sports. I'm sorry. I'm pulling up this bracket again because I might change up what I went with. Sorry, I'm trying to get this pulled up here. Arch Madness. Here we go. This would be something, Casey, we should get down to someday.
Go see yes, 100%.
That'd be really cool. Gosh, I'm having some connection issues over here again. I'm gonna go with. I think I'm gonna take Illinois State here. I'm gonna go with the Cardinals of Illinois State. That's my team.
Not a bad pick. That's a defense wins championships pick
sure.
Right there. Unfortunately, it's hard to play defense against the number one efficient offense in the nation in Belmont, who also has a top 5 2-point and a top 3 3-point efficiency. Absurd. Belmont, in my opinion, Belmont should make the tournament no matter what. I think Belmont's better than an Auburn team. I think they're going to do more than an Auburn team. Could see Illinois State winning it. That defense has been phenomenal all year. I'm going to take Belmont personally to be my winner. Then we're going to head to the A-Sun.
I've got Austin, PA winning. Is it Austin PA or Austin P?
I think it's just Austin P.
Austin P. Give me Austin P.
I'm going to take Austin P as well.
Two seed Austin P, right? Okay, here we go. I like this.
We've got the 2 seeds taking down Central Arkansas, who has a tough Bellarmine game tomorrow. Although Bellarmine tried really hard to lose against Jacksonville today in what was a fun game, as my classes got canceled due to a water main breaking.
And that prevented your intramural basketball game tonight too, right?
Yeah, devastating stuff. But it's okay because we were short guys. We were probably going to roll out 4 at most or 5 at most. So it was going to need to be a prime Milan Momcilovic performance from me to get it done.
Right.
Caleb, we're going to head to my current school conference, the Summit League, where UNO takes on South Dakota to kick things off. It would be a shame if they put these dates up tomorrow.
I'm going seriously. I'm going for some madness here. Some absolute madness. Give me the St. Thomas Tommies.
Caleb, give us the St. Thomas Tommies.
Oh
baby.
My gosh. We've always been massive St. Thomas Tommies.
The Tommies, for me, it's UNO and then it's the Tommies in this conference. I think the Tommies are going to get it done. I really like this team looking at them. It was one where I had to sit and think, am I allowed to pick against my current school? And as you will probably see next week, I will also pick against my former school, most likely. But had to do it. The Tommies are going to get it done. Head into the Fun Belt next, Caleb.
The Fun Belt. I love it. I got Troy here. Troy Trojans, 1 seed Troy in the Sun Belt. I'm going chalk for most of these low major leagues. Sun Belt, that's mid-major. But I'm going to take the Trojans with the victory here. That's been a good basketball squad this year. I like Troy. Their Ken Palm metrics aren't incredible, but they're just a consistent ball club. And I just think they've shown more than anybody else in this Sun Belt League this year. I'm going to take them.
Yeah, Caleb, when we said we know ball before this, our minds were thinking alike. I have Troy as well. I just think it's the team with the least parity, or like the highs and the lows heading into this. They've got things figured out. They've got their feet wet. I think Troy's it's the safe pick because they're the 1 seed, but I also think it's a safe pick because it's a good team and they're playing really well. And then we're going to head into the SoCon next, the Southern Conference.
I went to Eastern Tennessee State here. Not a ton of analysis on this game or on this tournament. Give me ETSU.
Once again, we are just the smartest people in the room. I am going ETSU as well. They just shoot the ball really well, and for a team that doesn't have a bad defense, I get Furman is a really good defensive team. Issue is they're good defensively without forcing turnovers, which is weird. So you can contest, but you can't force turnovers. Feel like you need to do both to get it done. ETSU, just good club. I mean, anytime you can be top 50 in the nation in something while being in these low mid majors, you've got a good ball club on your hands. So I'm going to take ETSU as well. Then we head to the NEC, Caleb.
And I, for the NEC, went with Long Island as my team, LIU.
The LIU Sharks?
The LIU Sharks, baby. Are we going to have the same pick, 4 tournaments in a row here? Is this happening?
Kind of. So this is weird. There is 2 teams that can win and not make March Madness. So I have Mercyhurst to win the conference. LIU makes it on the other side and gets in because Mercyhurst is in transition right now.
Oh, wow.
So I do know that Mercyhurst and Lemoyne are 2 schools in transition. So if Lemoyne would have won today, which unfortunately I believe they lost, they did lose. We could have seen a third-place game.
Mighty Stonehill Gauntlet.
Yes. Notable team that lost Iowa State, Stonehill.
Yep. Yeah, they came in Hilton Coliseum and just got throttled.
We made them better for this game.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, there was a situation where Lemoyne and Mercyhurst make the finals and a team plays for third for the March Madness bid. I think LIU is that other team as well. Next, we hit the CAA. We are going to go hit the MAA action.
I'm realizing now I completely glossed over this one. And it did not make a pick here. I'm trying to pull it up real quick.
You're good. No worries.
I'm going to go. Oh, this was my Campbell pick.
This is your right? Campbell's?
Yeah, these are my Campbell's.
Where's Campbell even?
What seed are they?
MAA?
We're in the CAA, right?
No, we're in the MAA. I said we already hit the CAA.
Oh, you're right.
MAA now.
Okay. I definitely did not make a pick for that one. I guess I had it as the WCC next. But go ahead and make your pick for that.
We can hit the WCC next if you would like. I've got mine.
Okay. I went with Gonzaga for it reluctantly because I don't know how many other conferences do it the bracket style this way. I hate the way the WCC does it, where it's just Gonzaga and St. Mary's will play 2 games max, right?
Yeah.
I don't know about you. I'm not a fan of that bracket style, but
I get it with like the smalls, like if Horizon or, the SoCon or the NEC want to do it because they want their top team to get in
right,
and represent
right,
them.
for sure.
WCC's got 4 teams that could make the tournament and compete every single year.
Exactly.
You just like I look at them and I don't get why they go with this. Now, does it go away because isn't Gonzaga Mountain West now?
Are they?
Is that it can't be only football. I think they're filling out the Mountain West.
You said Gonzaga?
Yeah.
When is that happening starting next year?
Gonzaga is leaving to join Pac-12. Pac-12.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's a good
July
get
of
for that
this
league.
year
Yeah,
as
that's
a
a really good get.
non-football member. So not even for football.
That's a good get for that conference.
Yeah. The new Pac-12 will be solid. But I mean, you've got 4 teams. You've got Gonzaga, St. Mary's, Santa Clara, USF every year that are solid programs. And, that's skipping over Seattle and Washington State and Oregon State right now that can compete. I don't care for it. I went Gonzaga as well, reluctantly. I think St. Mary's got their win. And Gonzaga was just like, all right, whatever, move on. We'll play in the finals and we'll win there. And then we head to the MAAC next, Caleb. Action.
I mean, this is Miami of Ohio here. And I really hope it is too, just so that there's not any sort of
AA, not single A.
Oh.
Mid
This
Metro
was the one.
Atlantic. This is
Yes.
Merrimack, St. Peter's are
Of
your
course.
top 2.
I did not make a pick for this one. I don't know if you sent this in the original text.
I might not have. It might have gotten lost in just being a bad conference.
I'll look at the bracket quick.
I'll give mine
first. Yeah.
While you look, this is my interesting one. I took Siena, the 3 seed. I didn't have a real reason why. I just knew it wasn't going to be chalk, and they're kind of just the average. I'm not going to say average Joes. They've got like no green and no red on their Torvik. They are just perfectly in the middle on everything. So yeah, that's no real reason. I just sometimes it's going to get crazy, and I'm going to take Siena to win it.
Right. Sometimes in the month of March, your gut is the best indicator, and you throw Torvik and Kempom out the window. I'm going to take Quinnipiac here.
Okay.
One of the great school names in the sport of college basketball, Quinnipiac. That's my take for Maction. And then, as I already alluded to, I don't know if you had actual Mac next.
I have actual Mac next pod because I don't think they.
Oh, okay.
Is their bracket released?
You know what? Okay, I get it now because I think maybe when you sent the text, you had just Mac, but then maybe it was meant to be MAA. That makes sense.
Is their bracket?
Yeah, next pod. You're right. That's next week.
Yeah, because they don't have theirs out yet.
Okay.
It is the Southland next.
Sure.
We have 3 more picks. We have Southland, Patriot, and Big Sky.
I'm gonna go for the Southland. I'm gonna go with Texas A&M Corpus Christi, the 1 seed here. Just going chalk on this one. Northwestern State, I know for a while was kind of that. I think they were leading the conference standings for a bit, and now Corpus Christi ended up winning the league. I'm just going to take them. gut tells me. But I think this will be a close one here.
I'm going to take a team that's always fun to have in March, and I'm going to take Stephen F. Austin.
Mm.
They're
Good.
always going to ruin a couple brackets and get stuff done. So, why not this year? Then we head to the Patriot League.
One of the more underrated conferences in the country. This in Missouri Valley. Casey, your Navy midshipmen, how about it, are the 1 seed here.
How about it?
My Army West Point Black Knights are the 9 seed. Yikes. Bad news.
You want the worst news, Caleb?
Yeah,
Army's
tell me.
out. They lost yesterday to
shoot, that happened
Bucknell.
yesterday, didn't it? Yeah. That horrible news. I'm not gonna sleep tonight now.
Devastating.
This is a good lineup tomorrow of games in the Patriot League.
I actually can't wait to watch this. This is one of them I looked at and I was like, I actually really want to watch this.
The Thursday slate is fantastic. I'm gonna go with Navy here. I'm gonna take the midshipmen. Also reluctantly because I think this Lehigh team's okay.
The Lehigh team was pretty good. There's just so many fun schools in the Patriot. You've got Boston, American, Army, Navy, American being in a conference is just fun. That's awesome. I feel like we need to get like Air Force in there, what are the schools named after presidents? Who's got I'm blanking right now.
I'm sorry, I wish I could tell you.
I gotta pull it up. I'm trying to think. James Madison, George Washington, Jefferson. Throw them in this conference. Truman State. Those would be, imagine a conference with George Washington, James Madison, Thomas Jefferson, Truman State, Army, Navy, Air Force, American. That's got to be the most fun. Welcome to the right side.
Maybe you kick Georgetown out of the Big East and send them down there. That would make sense at this time.
I mean, anyone that hires Ed Cooley deserves kicked out of a conference, in my opinion.
Well said. Very well said.
Caleb, I'm going to take Navy as well. It may be chalk, but it's my chalk. Navy midshipmen get it done, and we're going to round it out with the biggest, the largest, the Big Sky.
Mm-hmm. Starch Madness?
Starch Madness.
That's so fire. I didn't know it was called that.
I didn't know either until I looked up the bracket today.
In Boise? Oh, that's so good. I'm going to go with Montana State here. They're the 2 seed, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. I'm going Montana State. That's a team that, again, is always kind of in the running, I feel like, in the tournament year after year, kind of sitting right there as the representative from this league. They've been good as of late. I like the Grizzlies in this one.
P.S. Give me the Vikings. Portland State to round it out. It may be chalk. I haven't gone crazy yet. I feel like usually these smaller ones, like the low-end conferences, no slack, we love them just as much, if not more, than the big conferences, go fairly chalk or like top 3 heavy. It's when we hit the next podcast, when we got the Mountain West, current middle tier conference, the Big East, Maction, CUSA, not ACC, unfortunately, but like the Ivy League, some of the fun ones, that's where we start getting, a 7 seed in the finals. We start getting a 5 seed winning it all. And that's where the picks will be crazy.
They will be, baby. Well, good stuff. We got all these down. Low majors have been picked. It'll be high major, mid major next week. Looking forward to it. And John Rothstein would be proud of these conversations right now. Nobody else having these conversations, Casey. This is unique.
We're the
Who else out
only
there is sitting
people.
with their bro on a Wednesday night podcasting and picking the Southland Conference tournament winner?
The
Us.
MAA action.
Exactly. All right, wrap it up with the 3 for 3 here. Yeah,
End it like we always do on a high note.
of course. I'll let you start.
I have got a little bit of a different one. I went 2 negatives and 2 positives.
Okay, feel a little more negative this week. That's okay though. We'll bounce back next week.
Last pod was very positive. It's a fantastic 3 for 3 of smiles and joy. And then this week I sat and I watched Kansas versus Arizona State referees, and there's just no happiness to be had, Caleb.
Mm-hmm.
None whatsoever. There was a slight, smirk on my face when Nebraska lost, but 3 technical fouls against KU, and one of them walking across the court to a conversation you can't hear. Just despicable actions, and investigate them. That's all that needs to be said.
Do you know who the officiating crew was? Before you say it, if you know what it is, I would love to make a bet that Tony Padilla was on that game.
Doug Sermons.
Oh, Sermons was on it?
Yeah.
Okay. He's usually one of the better ones. I guess that makes sense because he was doing the Iowa State Arizona game on Monday night, I think. I thought he was bad on Monday night. There was a free throw discrepancy in that one like crazy too. Iowa State certainly did not deserve to win that game, but that was pretty egregious.
And Kip Kissinger was also there.
That is beyond. Those two guys are like both Final Four refs.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Not if the rundown with Caleb and Casey has something to say about it. We're upset.
And it was how many T's last night?
3.
Wow.
Self gets a double, ejected, and then right after, Jacques Vaughn gets a technical from the bench for I actually don't know what he was doing. I am actually still confused why we gave Jacques Vaughn a tech there.
Well, I'm sorry, Casey. I'll bounce you out, and I don't have any not 3 for 3 this week. I got all positives. Actually, well, one of my 3 for 3 is just it's bad, but it's funny.
Yeah.
That's why I had 3 for 3. My number 3 was we'll keep it again, kind of sort of local here. David Montgomery's going to the Texans.
Yeah.
And I mean, my goodness, the Jets and the Texans have a monopoly on Iowa State alums in the NFL.
Wow. How long until I know the Jets just franchise tagged Brees.
Yeah.
But is Houston working on a trade package right now?
What?
Is Houston working on a trade package right now to figure that out?
That'd be so cool. That's such a bummer that Brees got tagged by them. He deserves to be with a better franchise. But anywho, really fun to see that. I thought that was cool. And Monty probably only has a few years left that he is really playing meaningful snaps. He's getting up there in age, which is crazy to think about. But
yeah,
hopefully, at least 1-2, more years of some good production.
One of the best sports photos of all time with his player comparison as well.
The running back Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. Every time he scores a touchdown in the league, that one always comes up.
Yeah. It's just reminding me of the Nova Knicks the more I think about it too.
Yeah.
My other not 3 for 3 is the Big 12 LED court. It's not it being LED itself. It's an LED court, and they made the same awful design of that. You could make anything you want, and you made the most hated conference court again. I saw a ton of people saying, oh, they should do half and half like they do for bowl games, which would be awesome. Or even the home team gets it, which would be super cool. Or like a mixture of things. No, it's the gray court with the 12 in numerals that looks disgusting. And you
Right.
can't even see the half court line, and just a big Phillips logo in the middle, which I find. I love it. The Phillips logo is cool. It's the Big 12 tournament.
Mm-hmm.
No team branding whatsoever on it.
Right. Yeah, I've been overall a fan of what Brett Yormark has done with the Big 12. I think he's the right guy for the job. I think he's a visionary. I think he is what this conference needed when he came in. And frankly, I think it's what they still need, is somebody who is he is a disruptor, right, in the industry. He's a visionary, all this. Doing stuff like this, though, is so dumb. You know, I just think it's way too just cheesy, really, right? It's cheesy, and it's trying way too hard, right?
Yeah.
So I agree.
But I also hope that it's not like the women's is the bad court and then the men's is like cool and stuff, because that would also feel awful as well.
Sure. Yeah, I would agree with
But we'll
that.
keep an eye on it. We will watch.
Cyclones play tomorrow, I think. Cyclone women
Yeah.
play tomorrow.
Roll clones.
What's up?
Roll clones.
Roll Clones, baby. Roll Clones. We'll see what that team can do. I mean, been tough with injuries this year, but when they're clicking, they've got what's up?
They've got an injury bug every year. It's crazy.
Every year on that team. It's a bummer. My number 2, did you see this video of so it was, I think it was at a University of Minnesota diving competition. This guy, you have to look it up. This guy was this is the one non-basketball topic. I guess Dave Montgomery too, maybe. But Minnesota State university diving competition. This guy is singing the national anthem beforehand from the high dive. And when he gets done with it, he just jumps off the diving board and does like a cannonball.
No way.
It was some old dude too. Oh, it was so funny.
Was he like fully clothed too?
He was clothed. Yep. He was fully clothed. Had nice clothes on. Was doing it from the high dive, and then all of a sudden, once he's done, just jumps off of it.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yep.
Unbelievable. Committed to the bit. My number 2, World Baseball Classic time. The teams have got their preseason games out of the way. U.S. looks insane, like always. Japan's going to be a tough one to beat, but they lost a exhibition game to one of the Japan League teams. So that'll be interesting. U.S. played the Colorado Rockies and just thumped them. It's Colorado Rockies. Did we expect anything else? A couple other teams got games in. A couple of them lost to spring training teams as well. Trying to think. I want to say Puerto Rico lost, Italy won, Israel lost. DR won. I think that was what it was, but it's a great time for baseball fans. One of the newer, most fun world brackets, in my opinion.
It's been really cool. I'm glad they've been doing this. It gets me amped for baseball season. It really does.
Yeah. More than preseason MLB does too.
Yeah, for sure. My number 1 was because that was your number 1 technically, right?
2.
That was your 2. Okay, that's right. Because you have 4 this week. My number 1 was this obviously is kind of going a little bit further back now. It was last week, but when St. John's played UConn, obviously the St. John's scored like 45 points or something like that. They missed 24 shots in a row.
Rick, what are you doing, man?
Wow. That is unbelievable. 24 shots in a row. Like, if you were to tell me a team missed 12 or 13 shots in a row, I think that's crazy. 24.
Caleb, I don't even think your intramural team could take the court against UConn and miss 24 in a row.
No, somebody is going to knock down a bucket at some point.
You've got to get, you're going to get a layup, or you're going to get fouled and get a free throw,
right.
or you're going to get a lucky shot.
Right. Alex Caravan's going to sag off and someone's going to knock down a three, right? We're still going to lose,
Taryn
obviously.
Bates in his
Right.
mouth.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that is crazy. That is so bad.
That's unreal. My number one, it's a bit of a sad thing, but is Lou Holtz unfortunately passes away. But honoring Lou, one of the best coaches, one of the best people in the sport, and what he has done not only to Notre Dame but college football as a whole. I mean, that guy was in the news at the age of like 98 for all the wrong reasons. Nothing bad, just Ryan Day. It's just Ryan Day. But absolutely love the guy. Absolutely wonderful. Devastated to hear about the loss. It's crazy. The guys that we admired and looked up to and listened to growing up are, passing away or reaching that age, and just crazy to think about.
Good stuff. What a life from Dr. Lou, Coach Lou. What a career. That's cool. I'm glad we could do that here to end the pod. It's sad thinking about that. Lee Corso, you just don't know at this point how much longer he's around for, right? He's obviously retired now. That's going to be a tough day when he goes. So
Dickie V on the basketball front.
Right.
But he's calling a game this year.
Is he really?
I think they released the March Madness, and he's on it's like him and they released him. I want to say it's one of the playing games. It's him and not Shaq. Who's the other guy that does the NBA stuff? Charles.
Yeah,
I think him and Charles are in a crew together. Him, Charles, and somebody else, I want to say.
Wow. That's awesome. And that'll be on, you said this is a March Madness game?
I think it's a play-in. I'll try and look it up quick.
Well, that'll be cool. That'd be awesome to watch. He's still active on the Twitter machine too. I love following him on Twitter. He's always giving his thoughts, and
he was giving his thoughts on Darren Peterson, saying, "Take the jersey off. You're done here." Yeah. So it's the one game, the Tuesday game 2. They gave it to Brian Anderson, Charles Barkley, Dickie V, and Jenny Dell.
Perfect. We'll be watching, baby.
We'll be watching with the volume up so loud that Ames will hear it from Omaha, and Omaha will hear it from Ames.
Well, good stuff, Casey. Hour 22 pod. Whoa.
Lots to hit on,
baby, and it was pretty much all basketball.
And we're going to get another big one just soon.
Next week, baby. We'll be here 2 weeks in a row. It's been a little rare for that this semester, but next week is 100% in need of a pod. I doubt we miss one in March. I mean, it's go time, baby. This is what we're here for. This is why we do what we do. And hey, 3rd March Madness for the program for the rundown with Caleb and Casey. Just happy to be along for the ride, baby. Well, he's Casey Schiessler. I'm Caleb Polking. Thank you all for tuning in, as always. Go subscribe on YouTube if you're not yet. Always like to shout that out. If you're not, you can see our faces if you'd like. If you don't want to, that's perfectly fine. Completely understand. Hopefully our voices suffice. But thanks all for tuning in. Catch you guys next time.